So today, to deepen our connection with our world, we're going to mimic the behavior of an animal, okay? And this one might feel really goofy or really silly to you, and so it might really work your willingness muscle, You might be like, I don't know if I'm willing to do that, And so let me talk you into it a little bit, because it doesn't have to be. I mean, it could be, and it should be if you're willing. This extreme adventure in acting or something, where you just like go full on in cat mode or something, absolutely do that, because it's always exercising your willingness and your vulnerability and, push your own edge. But it doesn't have to be that either. It doesn't have to be something that is all about, acting and theatrical and whatever. It could be something basic. What we're really trying to do is think about an animal. Give it a little bit of consideration. Sometimes we don't give animals and their behavior much consideration. But just, give it a second of some thought. Pick which animal you want. If it's like your own cat or your own dog because you observe them and you know them well, great. I mean, what does that tell you? That's the animal that you feel most familiar with. But then you might even push or scan through, like, do I know of any other animal's behavior? I mean, could I push myself to do something that I'm less familiar with that's not my dog? Like a turtle, what would I do? Or whatever. Plus, it kind of brings us back to when we're a child and we're learning about animals. It's like, what do we know about a turtle? Just like the basics, like it's in a shell and it's going to tuck into its shell. Or, do we care to explore a little bit more? I mean, this could be another component of this, is like go and look up some animals or some animal behavior. Something about a turtle that's a little bit interesting besides just it sits in a shell or it moves really slowly. Are there other interesting things that you might add into the mimicking some animal behavior? And like I said, it doesn't have to be theatrical. If a turtle is, slow moving, that just means you could move very slowly. That's not theatrical at all. It doesn't, I want you to add the goofy, silly stuff whenever possible. But you can also do a less goofy, silly, less theatrical version of this and have it just be a time when you give some attention to an animal behavior or shift your own behavior consciously in an effort to mimic the behavior of something else, and just see how that goes. Do you like moving slow? Whatever. It's about just trying different stuff. And I don't think you should just stick with one as basic as just moving slowly. Because I think you could do more, but it can be as basic as that. I think that you should look and see what else the turtle does. Is the turtle like inward and insular in its world and like everything is self-contained, and you could try to mimic that behavior, that you would be a little more introverted or insular, or that you would kind of have everything that you needed with you that day. Your home is on your back, carry everything in a backpack, and nobody has to even know. I mean, you're mimicking this behavior, it doesn't have to be theatrical. You could have everything that you need with you in a backpack that day and just see what that's like. You might actually read and find that a turtle is, I don't know, something, I'm making this up, but like very, quick eating, or, aggressive when it comes to such and such, or whatever other things that you learn. And then you might try to mimic something that's a little more interesting, something that's a little more new to you. But try them all, try a theatrical day or a theatrical run of it, in the same day. Try a serious run with some really basic stuff. Try something that's like, okay, this is the new stuff for me. The stuff that's not something I already knew. Try it all. Like I said, the real point is, of course we're like getting into it and doing something that's out of our comfort zone, or that's not our typical behavior, or acting a little bit, or trying different movement styles than we would. And there's always something in that shakes us up a bit. But really, we're also just getting more connected with our world by thinking about something other than humans, thinking about animals for a second. And you may love animals and always do this, But even still, find something beyond what you already know. Give a little more attention to something else in the world that's not a human. And see how it is. See and explore some of the attributes that it has, and then try them on for size. Try them on, see what they feel like. Are they really similar to what you are like? Do you find that in common with these animals, or is it really different? But there's definitely playfulness in trying, and certainly deepening with our world when we just stop and take a little moment to think about anything other than ourselves or other humans, especially things like animals that we sometimes kind of like demean or put below ourselves of lesser importance. But give them a little time to shine and time to be, and we don't usually see ourselves as like them. And so this is interesting to intentionally put yourself in a place where you're like them. And there comes an animal right there.